Or like where, like, you know, obviously as these are his boys and he loves them as friends and respects them deeply, but like, and now Mickey has a whole like 8 million things of legislation coming in, right? Down bad Mickey.
Hey, Mayor Mickey, this is Charity Damos from LSBN. I have been trying to get a hold of you for the last week to try to do an interview for the news, since you know you're the new mayor and all. And I saw today on Twitter you were posting like 5 new legislations you're trying to push through, and I was wondering if you had any time today to do an interview.
Could we do the interview tomorrow? I'm actually doing a charity event today, you know, mayor things.
Right. I think tomorrow I'm helping film a Cerberus thing, so it depends on what time.
Okay. Listen, I'll be around all day tomorrow. Let's schedule the interview then. Sorry, I have a charity event to attend today.
All right, that's perfect. Tomorrow is fine.
All right, thank you so much. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yes, gentlemen.
Man, we need you. I can't believe I'm asking you this, but can you please keep this a secret?
Yes.
Can we trust you?
Yes.
All right, so here's the deal. Me and Dean, we're going to be in probably the next couple of days, maybe next week. Might be a busy week. I'm not sure. At some point, anyways, in the near future. We're going to be placing a business proposal on your desk about opening a new jewelry store here in Los Santos, similar to the Jewel Dragon. But it's going to be way better and way more efficient and way cheaper. And we need this business approved.
Why are you guys selling fake magical rings?
None of your business, Mickey. Can you do this for us, yes or no?
Anyone else? No, because it's you guys, yes.
Appreciate it. And we really need to keep this under wraps, right? Nobody can find out about this.
Let me ask now, is this a no questions asked? You just tell me this, I approve this quietly. Listen, let me put
what do you want to know?
No, let me put it to you this way. There might be a lot of work these days between myself and the two of you where you don't need to tell me anything. You just say, Mickey, we need this approved. Mickey, we need you to be aware of this. And that's it. No questions asked. And it might come down to me needing similar things. If that's the case, no questions asked. I'll approve this. We'll get it moving. That's it.
I believe that is the case.
Get one question. That's it.
Can I try one of the rings?
Yes, it's going to be way better than any sort of accessory at Jewel Dragon. So I think people are going to really like it because it's going to be vastly cheaper.
I will approve it. I will have to... Actually, I'm sure that whenever the Jewel Dragon was approved, there's no way that it was given exclusive rights. You'd never give exclusive rights to selling jewelry. There'd be no reason for me not to approve this, for what it's worth.
Exactly.
Perfect.
If
There's
anything...
really to keep this under wraps for obvious reasons, all right? We cannot let Chang Gang find out about this.
Understood.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I'll approve it personally, but have it go through one of my... I'll have the actual process go through one of my deputies so that it doesn't seem like it was me that did.
That's smart. I like that.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Mickey. Appreciate you, buddy.
Get it by my desk. Gentlemen, if you are interested, because, well, Dean, especially, you're the financial backing, I am putting the first 5 pieces of legislation to the Senate this week.
Did you want to give us a rundown now, or have you got to go?
Yeah, actually, my charity event doesn't start for another hour or so. Let me run through them.
All right.
But do you guys want to see them?
Give us like the cliff notes, I guess.
Yeah, I'll give you guys the cliff notes. Hold on. I'll pull them up for myself and I'll run them through you.
Assuming you want to hear this one.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Let me silence that. S2125, the Unified Defense Force Munition Act, basically grants the use of Sidewinder air-to-air missiles to Whiplash 1 and Whiplash 2 from the PD. I think it's stupid that they fly jets around without the ability to shoot down rogue aircraft. I'm giving them that ability. Number 2, they have requested for an APC, Armored Personnel Carrier, especially for some of their incursions into compounds, such as the Mandam Block, Little Seoul, etc., to prevent them from being immediately blown up in their vehicles. I have granted this as well. This is all part of my broader Unified Defense Force Act, which basically arms the police even more. Number 2 is a reclassification of Employee Act. This is to grant dispatch the title of government employees. Currently, they don't have that title, and I want to give them that so that they can get all the benefits of that, as well as giving additional responsibilities for dispatch. For instance, dispatch over ATC have a two-way approval process for the launch of the Sidewinder missiles. The pilot does not get to launch the missiles at their discretion. It is a call made by the highest acting officer and the ATC member at the time. Why is this song playing?
Okay.
That's the reclassification of employment. Ooh, spicy one. This is the one that probably won't go through this week. I still need to review this with Sam Bass. This is the Assembly of External Affairs Act. This is basically I still need to talk to IA and explain why we want to do this, but essentially
Does IA still exist?
I received an email from them. Apparently they do. The problem is there's too much tape. It's impossible to actually get any meaningful disciplinary action done on police. The docket is backed up with any number of cases. This is to be a civilian tribunal that cannot issue punishments. The tribunal itself has no power to issue punishments, but they can review various action of police officers that is deemed illegal or deemed outside of what they should be doing on duty. They can then send that to the high command and
so just to be clear,
punishment. Yes.
I just want to make sure, just so I'm clear in my head. You want to arm the police with Sidewinder missiles and then create a tribunal to judge police based on their actions.
Yes.
All right, carry on.
Yep. It's consequences for everyone, Dean. Because listen, I used to be a criminal and I used to fly planes around the city, and I remember the first time they scrambled Whiplash 1 and Whiplash 2 against me, and it was the most exhilarating thing I ever experienced until I realized that they fly them around until Sam Bass inevitably crashes one because he's a ship pilot. Why the fuck do we have fighter jets if they don't have missiles?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean, fair enough, yeah.
The writing of it is basically this. The review team of the tribunal is going to be, will have to be selected and approved. High command has the final say in the approval of these people, but they are outside of the police force. And again, they can submit disciplinary requests to high command, but they cannot carry out the requests themselves. And the disciplinary request cannot ever, there will never be a request to fire an officer. That's completely within high command's choice. That's outside of the tribunal to determine.
Ah, I see. That is very interesting.
So they could just take your verdict and wipe their ass with it.
High command
Yes.
could absolutely wipe their ass with it. Considering that Sam Bass is the one who is drafting it with me, I feel like at least the LSPD will listen to it. I've already run it through Kyle, or with Kyle Pred. He was amenable to it as well. Part of the reason why they're amenable to it is my other spicy legislation, the Violent Offenses Against Government Employees Act. Please don't kill me for this one, Lang. For very egregious crimes, we haven't fully written the exact wording for it, but it'll likely be in an event where the attempted murder of a government employee ×3 or greater. So this is for any acts that are...
Cheng ain't gonna clap your ass, buddy. Let's hear this one. Come on, spit it out.
The violent felonies resolution. High fine in exchange for lower prison time. The fine cannot exceed $250,000, but it can't be less than $125,000. Prison time no more than 60 months and no less than 45 months. This is an extremely high fine in exchange for lower time. High time in prison in exchange for a lower fine. Fine is between $15,000 to $50,000, but the prison sentence can be anywhere from 1 to 3 years. Again, this is for that range of extremely violent acts that is not quite nines worthy, but is more than just stealing a car. The best part of this is the high term of community service and moderate fine. Perpetrators are given a moderate fine.
Wait, pause for a second. If it's not, if it's for crimes that kind of skirt that line, anything that's 1 to 3 years is like terrorism, murder,
weapons trafficking,
murder,
drug trafficking,
weapons trafficking, drugs trafficking. Yep. You know what I mean? That's not skirting the line, though, right?
I'm basically pushing up that if you throw a grenade at a car full of police officers, you're not going to be... Listen, you throw a grenade at a car full of police officers, you're either paying $250,000 or I'm not going to see you walking around the streets in an hour. That's what this is.
Everybody walks around the streets in an hour, Mickey. Everyone goes to jail for months.
The final action, though, and again, this is your choice. You get to choose between a severely high fine, a severely high prison sentence, or the community service program that me and Crane are working on, in which you can go and work in employment at businesses that we would partner at or government services that we would partner at. And then you'd still get a moderate fine.
I don't think any of these ideas are inherently bad. Just I hope you're ready for the flack you might get.
I haven't gotten to the best part of this whole plan.
Oh, please, please continue.
My favorite piece of legislation is the San Andreas Royalty Foundations Act. We are allocating a new branch of state funding to the intellectual property that is requested for the state and public radios. So the artists from Mandem Records, Wu Chang Records, Down Bad Records, etc., will now be granted money by the state. There's a lot of really complicated ways in measuring...
Wait, what?
What's that?
Why don't their labels just pay them?
Because the state's using their songs throughout the state radio. And because we in the city of
that's a smart angle.
And because we in the state of Los Santos have a burgeoning music scene. We have many music festivals going on here, and it is well, for the sake of immigration, it is very intelligent for the state to invest in these artists so that they can be full-time artists here in the city of Los Santos instead of scrounging and doing recycling work instead of making music. So if they get a song approved on the radio, we pay an initial sum of $25,000, and then every month that they have a song on the radio, they are paid $20,000 per month for that song, for any song, up to a cap of 3 songs for $60,000 a month.
It's nothing.
That's not that bad, actually.
These are my first...
I mean, with that money, there's literally still going to be out there fucking doing whatever jobs you described 10 seconds ago.
I'm still adjusting the numbers. So, I mean, again, these are all the first drafts of the legislation. So if that's the case, Dean, I'll take that into consideration and adjust it.
Oh, I don't care. I'm just saying.
Now, Mickey, this might birth the era of independent artists, which might piss off some labels.
I think Down Bad Records operates as an independent label. I think everyone that's under Down Bad Records is independent.
Yeah, and
if I recall.
Yeah, and I believe you actually, part of this is that you have to go through I think you might have to go through a label just for accounting purposes. So if you want to be independent, you would...
Well, then you're going to get flagged from the independent artists. Yeah.
I think if you're independent, then if you want to be independent, you basically sign with Down Bad, the collective of independent artists.
So now you're forcing artists to conform and sign to your label, Mickey. That's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, this is going to be a tricky one, I think, for you.
Well, the best part about all this, gentlemen, I will pass all this legislation, and then I will go on my world tour of diplomacy to Amsterdam and let the city...
Sorry, what was that?
Well, I'll go on a world tour of diplomacy while all this legislation gets passed.
Jesus, me.
Well, yes, I'm informing you two gentlemen about this first, but I'll need to let the rest of the government know I will be away from the city for a bit. I'm doing a diplomacy tour over in Europe coming up.
How long?
2 weeks.
Okay, so like standard.
Anyways, these are my first pieces of legislation. In terms of my promise to get the EMS ambulances tuned up with NOS, taken care of. Eddie Marshall from the tuner shop and I have signed, well, are soon to sign a contract where the tuner shop is going to be commissioned by the state to tune up 3 of the ambulances, upgrading their engines and allowing them to have NOS. Any future requests for EMS vehicles, as well as my own personal, well, my mayoral vehicles will be done through the tuner shop. I'm really excited about that contract, and yeah.
All right, my man. These actually all sound pretty good. I mean, there's some things I think you need to figure out, you know, in between the lines, but overall, pretty fucking good, honestly.
I'll take care of what you guys need taken care of.
Vicky,
Yes.
side note. Can just give Lang and I 1 second.
Of course. Huh. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. 1/4 of the election cycle? Isn't that 1/4 of your mayoral cycle? Isn't that 1/4 of the mayorship? Suck my balls.
So, let's circle back here. Once again, this is top secret classified information we're deciding to disclose to you, and if this is ever leaked, I will literally throw you in the ocean.
Okay.
At Cerberus Industries, me and Dean, we have been working on expanding our brand, and funny you mention it. We are actually looking to assemble and distribute missiles. So we could actually provide ammunition to the PD and their jets at a cost for each missile that they, you know, obviously discharge into the city.
Yes. Oh my God. And Cerberus Industries can help with our, okay, so I didn't lay all of my cards on the table. We do need to do, Snow has actually worked on an entire program that he has written up in addition to the Munitions Act, which is the Top Gun program for fighter pilot training. So we actually would have a pretty hefty request from Cerberus Industries for number of missiles only because of the training exercises.
That is totally fine. As long as we're willing to pay, we're willing to provide, my friend.
Jeez, okay. Yeah, I mean, that's...
By the end of the day, I will have a contract written up from the state of Los Santos to Cerberus Industries for the funding of these munitions.
Perfect.
Do you have any idea what the cost per missile will be? I can tell you right now a Sidewinder air-to-air missile is approximately $492,000, but I don't know what crazy tech you guys
We're going to be
with.
charging about $1 million a missile.
I mean, naturally, of course. I mean, it's higher tech. I mean, I don't want to just be dealing with, you know, boring Sidewinder air-to-air.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'll have the contract ready for you gentlemen tonight.
All right.
All right,
Sounds good.
perfect.
Give us a call.
Can we put in an initial order of 10 missiles, let's say, so we can get to work?
Yeah, I think 10 would make sense. I don't want the PD having a bunch on hand. Probably only 4, which will be the armaments for Sidewinder 1 and 2. So 1 per wing, and then the additional 6 can be used for the training purposes during the Top Gun program. Most of the training is not going to be using live munitions, but We will do some live munitions testing.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta shoot some missiles, see if it even if it hits a wall, right? Oh, you just gotta make sure it fires.
Well, we're gonna have to figure out how to get an unmanned drone into the sky, and we're gonna shoot that down, or one of my security team is gonna have to be very quick with their parachute.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right.
Wait, isn't your security team our security team?
Our security team with the capital.
No,
O.
it's our security team that is currently contracted to work for Pickleton.
Oh, that's the other thing. I have the contract for the security team as well, if either of you would like to review that.
Oh, no, that's fine.
I have one other thing that I need to tell both of you about.
Okay.
Since we're sharing secrets.
Oh my god, I just realized.
Yes.
Nothing. Sorry, carry on.
There was a terrorist who attempted to take me out during the election, actually on election day, and has since mounted several attacks against me and my security team.
Huh?
Yes. I know this is a shock to many of you, Dean especially, who, keeps a watchful eye on the entirety of, a city that he's such an influential member of. But yes, there is a terrorist running amok in the city. PD engaged him, or her, we don't even know. They got their blood, even got their phone number. Total ghost. We ran them through Interpol, through the CIA, everywhere. Completely out of any government system anywhere. Total ghost, no one knows who they are. No name, no relatives, nothing. They had access to some pretty insane weaponry. And Lang Dean, they said that if I don't pay them $10 million from the state account by the end of my term, they will take out everyone and everything I love.
All right, Mickey. Thank you for coming by, my friend. I appreciate you. Nice try, buddy. You just say you want to embezzle money. It's fine.
10 million is a bit much. You could have made it more believable.
Guys, I only wanted to embezzle. No, I did want to embezzle money, guys. I wanted to embezzle maybe 2-3 million. One last job, the final heist. But this is different.
Okay, nobody's gonna believe this bullshit story.
Okay, well, if you don't believe my bullshit story,
I'm not giving you $10 million.
You can't give me $10 million. It has to be 10 million from the state account.
Right. And you're gonna give it to some guy who's like Batman.
No, not like Batman, like Bane. Like Bane meets some other nefarious terrorist that's also scary.
Penguin.
Yeah.
Right. If you want to embezzle money, we could just do it. You don't have to come up with this ridiculous story.
Ridiculous story aside, if we wanted to embezzle money, I think that's something I need to figure out. I've actually been studying what happened to Abdul to try to avoid it. I have ways of doing it, I believe, but it's still tricky.
Okay.
I mean, idea number one is any new branch of my government or new funding for my government is prone to loopholes and overpaying. For instance, the most obvious one, because they're also trusted, is CBPD, Tartarus or whatever, through Zay and his group. They can request a lot of money that isn't very traceable. Partly because they've actually already been attacked and there's been multiple documentation of them having to defend me, us getting blown out of the sky in a helicopter. I mean, there's any number of documentation for things like hazard pay and all sorts of stuff. Secondly, they can be paid as an entire company and then the individuals of the company can be paid out. And as long as, you know, as long as Zay is smart about it, Zay can then move some individual amount from the account out into cash afterwards.
May I interrupt?
Yes. Go ahead, Dean.
Now, you say you studied the Abdul case, but you're literally saying exactly what Abdul did, except he used the hotel instead of security team.
Yeah, the problem is a lot of the stuff with Abdul's case had too much of a paper trail. There's a lot with the security team that's done via cash and isn't necessarily traced.
I see.
But it's not would it not be it's not traced until the point where they ask you where it went and then you need to prove receipts, no?
The point of proving receipts, though, is at that point it's Zay who is the one who has to prove the receipts and that the money is actually used. For instance, things like there's any number of things that are purchased with cash that can basically fall into that are used on a day-to-day basis, which are actually expensive. Radios, armor, bandages, etc. for the entire security detail.
I guess it's fair. You can't really, you know, determine what a fair number of vests are that you need to wear in a day, right?
If you guys have any other ideas, I will admit this, though. The original idea of doing this, to your point, Dean, is that this would be a very small amount of money. Working with them over the course of 2 months, I projected somewhere between 1 to 2 million that I could move. If I want to move 10 million, I need to think bigger.
What do you mean?
Yeah, that's a tough one. That really is a tough one. Because you can use big ticket items, like, for example, the Sidewinder missiles, but that's going to have a lot of scrutiny on them, right? If you pay even like $10 more than you should on that, then they're going to be asking questions, right? But then if you want to do it on low ticket items, you just have to buy such a high volume that doesn't...
It's almost too hard to raise that money.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the other thing is I don't want to burn a bridge with Cerberus Industries. I do plan to run for a second term even. And I actually see partnerships with Cerberus Industries being super lucrative for the mayor's office if we need any tech throughout the city. The area I'm considering is for really big state-sponsored events. Because
hey guys, we gotta wrap this up. We gotta be some more deep.
All right.
Sorry, continue though, Mickey.
No. I would say this is I've thrown it out there to you guys. I need you guys to think about how we do this. If I do this through CBPD, I mean, we're talking $1 million, maybe 2 million max over the course of 2 months. I can't move that much money through them. I need a bigger idea. I need something that I can move 5+ million from.
We can count on some for sure.
I have an idea, but I don't want to say it.
Don't say it yet.
Till I just think about it.
Think about it more. We'll reconvene later this week. I'll come by for another meeting. Once I have your guys' stuff approved. I don't know who has the business, but can one of you guys get that to me and I'll get it approved ASAP.
We'll get it to you probably in a week.
All right. I'll be ready then.
All right.